Well, here we are. So this is the all-new singing, dancing Canyon Ultimate CF7 road bike, and in this episode I will give you the buyer's guide for this bike, and also I will tell you some of the likes and dislikes when it comes to this specific model of the bike. So, Canyon Ultimate platform. Who is this bike for? So, Canyon Ultimate is the lightweight climbing machine from Canyon, but of course in this latest iteration it has a bit of, aerodynamically optimized pieces like, of course, frame and the fork and the handlebar and the stem. But generally speaking, if you are looking for the lightweight bike and kind of a bit stiffer bike, then definitely Canyon Ultimate is the way to think about it and shortlist it. So the retail price of this bike is absolutely astonishing. So in the US, 2,800 hard-earned US dollars, or if you are in UK, 2,350 hard-earned British pounds. Absolutely astonishing price point, and of course all other bike manufacturers will struggle to match this price point, but this is what Canyon is really famous for, their value for money. Also, considering that the retail price is 2,800 US dollars, at least you are getting two paint schemes to choose from. One is this beautiful teal paint scheme. It definitely reminds me a bit of the paint schemes that Specialized is doing on their tarmac bikes. And then another one is this very classical, totally white paint scheme, also a pretty famous, let's say, paint scheme design when it comes to Canyon bikes. So all in, I'm very glad that you can choose from these two paint schemes. Now, let's dive into the specifications of this bike and we will really see what are you getting for your hard-earned money. So starting with the frame and the fork. So this is the carbon fiber CFSL carbon fiber frame and the fork from Canyon, and this is their lowest level of the carbon fiber. So the third level, above this you have the CFSLX, and then you have the CFR, super expensive bikes. So we gotta keep this into perspective when it of course comes to the price of the bike and the total weight of the bike. We'll see a bit later. This carbon fiber frame, as you can see, internally routed cables. There's a press fit bottom bracket, PF86, perfectly fine. 12mm through axles front and the back. And also, I will mention here that the seat post, carbon fiber seat post from Canyon. Here we have the saddle from the, I think it's is it the Sella Italia saddle or Physique saddle? I will have to double check the specs, but nothing is proprietary here with the saddle. This is a personal preference, very easy to replace if you need to replace this saddle and if you don't like it. Also, on the carbon fiber frame and the fork from Canyon, there is a 6 years warranty, and also on the carbon fiber pieces like handlebar stem and the seat post, Canyon is also giving a 6 years warranty. Basically all the components from the carbon fiber that are manufactured by Canyon, you will get the 6 years warranty. It's a decent warranty, nothing special. As you know, some other bike manufacturers, maybe like Specialized, Trek, Giant, they can offer you a lifetime warranty. So of course at some point it would be nice if Canyon does the same stuff. All in, this carbon fiber frame, this carbon fiber fork, absolutely no special complaints from me. It's a lowest tier that Canyon can do, but that's why the price range is as it is. Now, speaking about the handlebar and the stem, you gotta be aware here that this is the carbon fiber one piece handlebar and the stem, which is of course aerodynamically optimized. But what's tricky here always with these one piece carbon fiber handlebars and the stem is that you really need to make sure that the sizing of this handlebar and the stem is gonna be right fit for you. So it definitely depends on the sizing of the frame, and different configurations of the handlebar and the stem will have, different stem length, let's say 100 millimeters, and the handlebar width, which might be something like, 410 millimeters. So you really have to double check on the frame sizing and really see if this handlebar stem combo is gonna fit you correctly. You can't change this when you are ordering the bike, which again would be very nice that Canyon is offering this service. And to be honest, on this level of the bike, since this is their basic Canyon Ultimate, I think they should have offered an option to have a two-piece handlebar and the stem, which can also be a carbon fiber. But as it is now, you really gotta, double check, measure twice before you decide on this one-piece handlebar and the stem sizing. I kind of understand that this has been done for the aerodynamical reasons, also probably the inventory that Canyon has to hold is, much less if you have this one-piece handlebar and the stem. But as a buyer, you always have to be aware of the limitations of this type of the system. Okay, moving on to the group set on this bike. So what are you getting here? So you are getting here a Shimano's 105 mechanical group set. So this is the 12-speed mechanical group set, so shifters, front mech, rear mech, everything Shimano 12-speed mechanical, and it is an absolutely, astonishing mechanical group set, a proper workhorse. I have no complaints here. And of course, in the world of electronic group sets, this Shimano mechanical group set 105 works perfectly fine, and definitely it's going to be much more easier to service, or even if you are traveling around the world with this bike, if anything goes wrong, everybody has the parts to fix any components of this Shimano 105 mechanical group set. Also, I'll mention here that the crankset is the Shimano 105 with double chain rings on the front, and these are 5236. This is paired with the Shimano's 12-speed chain and Shimano 105 cassette, 12-speed cassette at the back, 1134 cassette at the back, so a beautiful range of the gears. You can definitely attack steep mountains, you can definitely spend, hours in the saddle, and I like this, big gearing, big cassette at the back that they have included. Very good. So all in, Shimano 105 mechanical 12-speed, stunning, perfect workhorse, no complaints here from me. Of course, a tip for the future: when you are replacing the chain, please stick to any 12-speed chain from the Shimano's offering, just because the compatibility with the Shimano 12-speed group set. Looking at the braking system of the bike, so this is the Shimano 105 hydraulic disc brakes, both the front and the back, and we have the 160mm braking rotors at the front and this tiny 140mm braking rotor at the back. You probably know my opinion about these tiny braking rotors. I just don't understand why manufacturers do it. I believe that the rear braking rotor should also be 160mm because you want good heat dissipation, you want good stopping power, and saving weight on the tiny little rotor at the back is just ridiculous. I don't know, the weight difference between 140mm rotors and 160mm rotors might be something like, let's call it 20 grams. Totally negligible when it comes to the whole bike weight. So something maybe in the future to think about of upgrading to 160mm braking rotor if you have problems with overheating on the rear rotor or braking power. Okay, moving on to the wheels and the tires on this bike. So, of course, considering the price point of this bike, which is $2,800, you can't expect any stunning wheel set. But this wheel set is totally fine and pretty decent. So this is the DT Swiss Performance LN wheel set. It is aluminium wheel set from DT Swiss, tubeless ready. It comes with the, I believe, DT Swiss 370 hubs, something just to double check with Canyon. This would be kind of the lowest level of DT Swiss hubs that they do, but make no mistake, perfectly decent hubs. Also, this wheelset is, I believe, 22-23 millimeters rim height. Internally, it is 20 millimeters, so of course it is a narrow rim internally, because this is kind of the old school design, I would call it, from DT Swiss. They really need to, update their wheelsets, but as it is now with this aluminium wheelset, I can't complain too much because of the price range of the whole bike. Also, the wheelset, front and rear wheel in total, the weight is probably going to be something around 1,900 grams for this wheelset, so definitely on the heavier side, but it is a totally basic aluminum wheelset on this bike. Also, the tires on this bike are the Schwalbe tires. So these tires are 28 millimeters both front and the back, which is very nice air volume. It's definitely going to be, smoother ride. And this frame, they say, can accept tires up to 33 millimeters. So I'm guessing you can fit the 34 millimeter tires on this frame and the fork, and still you will have probably, 3 millimeters left of the spacing on each side. So I'm not expecting that you can't fit 34 millimeters, but at least when you destroy these tires, I would suggest you to move to the 32 millimeter tires. Again, better air volume, more air volume, and much smoother bike ride. But as it is out of the box, 28 millimeter tires, Schwalbe, again, perfectly fine. I won't complain too much because of the price point of this bike. So, I can also give you a tip for the future. If you are really interested in upgrading your bike tires and the wheels, then definitely you should have a look when it comes to the wheel set, for example, at the reserve wheels. And the reason I'm saying this is that, for example, if you look at the reserve 42-49 wheel set, which basically means that this carbon fiber wheel set has 42 millimeters rim height at the front and 49 at the back. It retails for $1,800 with DT Swiss 350 hubs. So, excellent hubs. And I believe, much better than the ones you would get on the basic wheel set on the Canyon bike. But also the main thing for this reserve wheel set is that it is very light, of course. It would come at about 1,430 grams, stunning in my opinion, but also internally this wheelset is approximately 25 millimeters at the back and 25.4 millimeters at the front. So much more modern design and future-proof design, because when you are running wider tires, let's say 32 millimeter tires, you want the tire to nicely be flush with the rim, and these internally wider rims will just exactly, allow you to do it and have even better aerodynamic performance than narrow internal rims. So reserve definitely, in my opinion, currently makes excellent wheels, and yes, you will pay this $1,800 if you want this superb carbon fiber tubeless ready wheel set, but definitely these are the levels of the prices you would pay. For example, even if you look at, let's say, some kind of Roval wheels, carbon fiber wheels. The reason I'm not mentioning again the carbon fiber wheels from DT Swiss is that I truly believe they need to update their lineup and incorporate a bit more wider internal rims, because this is the way the whole kind of bike world is going. Also, I have to mention that the total system weight of this bike is going to be approximately 8.7 kilograms in some kind of size medium, which is definitely on the heavier side. But, keep in mind that this wheel set, if it would be upgraded to something much better, you can easily drop about 500 grams just on the wheel set. So all in, of course, it's a very interesting offering from Canyon, and the price point, especially of $2,800 is absolutely stunning, and this is definitely one of the likes of this bike. Also, I have no problems with using a Shimano 12-speed mechanical group set on this bike, totally fine. And some of the minor dislikes I have to mention here is that you need to be aware that this one-piece carbon fiber handlebar and the stem you really need to double check the sizing and make sure that it works for you, because it's going to be tricky to replace or upgrade in the future. It's going to cost you a lot of money. And also I will mention here that I believe that Canyon should have put the 160mm braking rotor at the back, just because of better heat dissipation and stopping power. The wheel set as it is, I wouldn't complain too much, because the whole price point of the bike is very low in my opinion, and excellent for the consumer. So definitely you have to take this into account when thinking about this aluminum wheel set on the bike. So all in, I believe excellent offering again from Canyon for this Ultimate CF7, and I believe they will sell a lot of these bikes because of this very interesting price point. And then in the future you can just save some money and upgrade to the better wheel set. Speaking about the weight, of course 8.7 kilograms out of the box as it is now is high, and I wish that this bike is a bit lighter, so considering the whole carbon fiber frame, fork, handlebar stem, seat post. But again, I'm aware that this is the lowest level of the carbon fiber they do, so if you really want to go lightweight on these ultimate bikes, you have to go CF SLX, or if you really got the money, then you can go for their premium CFR carbon fiber frames and the forks. So this is going to be it for today. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, keep on watching, keep on liking, and as always, I will see you soon in the next episode. Cheers!